Hi, this is the sixth video and hopefully the last in this short series on research methods in psychology. And this video is going to be about the survey method. And the survey method, or polling, is simply asking people questions and compiling the results, right? Doing the stats on the results. And you can look at my silly cartoons. In this cartoon, you have somebody messing with your data. So it's not common, but it does happen, right? So here are some good things about the survey method, the pros of the survey method. Remember when we talked about representative sampling of the population? So surveying, you can get a very large swath of the population. You can ask thousands of people simple questions, right? You can do it through social media, you can do it through phone banking, email, texting, whatever. You can really get a whole lot of people in your study. So that's great. It's not perfect. It's never perfect, but it is the best way to get a large sampling of the population. Some of the problems with the survey method is, well, first of all, the wording of the questions. They can be biased or misleading. On my Facebook page, a little questionnaire of, one question. It popped up and it says, choose your rating of President Trump's performance. And it had good, excellent, outstanding. Those were the only choices. So it's bias. The worst that somebody's going to say is good, right? So, for example, that's bias in the responses. You can have this also in the wording of the question. With abortion, right? So even how you phrase, how you think about it. So some people will say pro-choice, other people will say pro-abortion. Those are those create very different feelings. Probably nobody is pro-abortion, right? People are, for the freedom to choose, but no, I don't think anybody wants an abortion, right? Or somebody might say pro-life or anti-choice. Those are also, they're biased ways of asking questions. If I said, are you pro-life or are you anti-choice? I'm pro-life. Isn't everybody pro-life? But I'm not anti-choice. So I hope that helps with an understanding. There's so many ways that questions can be biased, right? In the previous slide, I said that it's a good way to get a broad sampling of the population. And it's the best way, but it's still not perfect because who responds to surveys? So typically if I'm in an actual classroom and I ask students, if you get a phone call or a text about just answer a few questions, please, take our short survey. How many of you actually do it? How many of you answer the phone when, or answer honestly to all of the questions that a researcher might ask you on the phone or somebody doing polling? So it's usually way less than half the class, maybe 2 or 3 people out of 30, 35 people who actually respond fully and honestly. So that's a problem. Who responds to surveys? Another problem is it's hard to get a sampling of the population if you're doing, say, face-to-face questioning, right? So let's say I am doing polling, I'm doing a survey and I'm at the Tacoma Mall. And I'm standing there with my clipboard or my laptop and I'm asking people, I want to ask people a question. Will my results be Good. Would that be a good sampling of the population? Well, probably not, because I'm probably only going to ask people who are nice, right? Who look at me and I can tell from their look that they will respond to me. The people who look grouchy and don't make eye contact, I'm not going to approach them, right? I'm the one in the mall who's always approached. It's kind of annoying. But you know what I mean, right? So let's say I try to do random sampling. I toss a coin every time somebody comes into the mall. And every time it's a heads, I ask. I go up and I ask that person. And when it's a tails, I don't. That would be random. Coin tossing is random. But I still have a problem that I'm only in Tacoma and only at the Tacoma Mall, right? So I'm not even doing a good sampling of the Tacoma population because not everybody goes to the mall. Now let's say I'm in the mall and I do my surveying, let's say at 10 o'clock on weekdays, 10 a.m., say on weekdays, or lunchtime on weekdays, or Saturdays at 3 o'clock p.m. I'm going to get very different results. Those are going to be very different mall populations. So just to give you an idea, you can see what it's like to try and get a good sampling of the population. It's possible, but it's not easy. Another problem that we have with surveys is honesty. People aren't always honest. So, especially about things that are a little embarrassing or private or shameful. So if you ask people about sex, you ask them about religion, money, things like that, they might not be entirely honest. One way to try to get honesty in a survey or a poll is to guarantee anonymity. You guarantee people that nobody will know who they are. Nobody will know that these were your responses. That's great if they believe you. I think with online surveys, it's hard to get people to believe you, that it's really anonymous, because it feels like everything can be tracked, right? But if you can guarantee anonymity, you're going to get much more honest responses from people. Another thing about honesty that is good to know is that people don't only lie to the researchers, they lie to themselves. So for example, let's say you ask people, let's say I go to the doctor, and you know how they have that form, and you fill it out when you go in, and how many times a week do you exercise, and well, maybe I haven't exercised at all in the last 4 months, but I used to be a runner, and I'm the kind of person who exercises. This is how I identify myself, as somebody who is healthy and who exercises. And I don't want my doctor to think that, I'm a different kind of person. And it's really how I think about myself. So I'll put twice a week. I haven't exercised in 4 months, and I'm putting twice a week. That's a problem. The person that I'm really lying to is myself, but you run into that also with surveys. So again, surveys are a good way to get to a lot of people. Getting good, honest answers that are a good sampling of the entire population that you're studying, that's a little more difficult, but possible. Okay, this is the last video in this series.